Hey everyone, welcome. It's Carrie from Carrie's Wreath Creations. How are we doing on this Tuesday? Welcome, welcome. Just gonna give everyone a second to find us. Got my comments coming up on my laptop here so that way I can see comments and when people join. Okay. All right. Welcome everybody. If you are joining me here, let me know you're here. Say hey. Let me know where you're watching from, and also let me know if you are, if you've seen me before or if you're new. I'm glad to have everyone here with me. Today I'm going to be working on a fun, tropical, bright colored flower on a small Unique in the Creek board. So the crafting calendar, if you're a crafter, crafting calendar tells us we're supposed to work 3 months ahead of the season. So I have seen some wreath makers already working on fall. I'm not ready for that yet. I guess it's mid-May, but we're not even into summer yet. So I'm still full on into summer, patriotic. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. I am not ready for the fall colors yet. That's for sure. Hello, everyone. I am seeing your comments. Thank you for letting me know you're here and letting me know where you're watching from. So if you saw the post on my page or anywhere else where it was shared, I am going to give you a sort of small demo as to how I'm putting the petals together. Normally I don't do this on camera because it does involve an iron. I do use my ironing board, and so it's kind of a process. I have all the petals pre-made, but I am going to sort of walk you through the process. If you do want to see how to do the petals in more detail, you're going to want to check out the YouTube video that I have posted. If you go back to my post from a couple hours ago where I posted the picture of what I was doing, there's a link in the comments, but I will also go back through after I get off the live and put the link in this video as well. So if you go to my YouTube, it's Carrie's Wreath Creations. I have a number of videos in there, but I do have a video that shows you how to make this petal. So on YouTube, I believe I called it the veined leaf petal. It's a pleated petal, but this is basically what the petal looks like when it's finished. It has this nice pleat down the center, and we get that with using an iron. So I'm gonna kind of fake it here. I'm not gonna actually plug my iron in, but I'm gonna show you how it's done. So hi, Linda. Yes, thank you to Lori from Unique in the Creek for sending out a message to her followers and telling them to come watch me here. So wish her a speedy recovery after her surgery, and I appreciate her sending people here. So we are going to be working with 4 colors of poly burlap. We're going to be using the yellow, we're going to use orange, fuchsia, and the emerald green. So to start with, I have already wood burned my poly burlap. It's in a 10 by 10 square. Okay. This is kind of a garbage piece because it's starting to fray a little bit, but I'm going to do my quick demo here. All right. So in order to make this petal with the pleats, you do need your poly burlap. You're going to actually cut this in half diagonally. So you need a straight edge as well as something to cut with. And then I have my iron. As you can see, it is not plugged in. I will not be doing a live ironing, but I will show you the process. And then you'll also need a piece of parchment paper. You would also need your ironing board, which I don't have for obvious reasons. I have my craft table. So how do we get this started? So you take your 10 by 10. Okay, always pay attention to where your factory edges are and where your cut edges are. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to turn it into a diamond shape and take your straight edge. Okay. And then I'm taking my rotary cutter and I'm just cutting diagonally across, just like this. So I have 2 pieces. Now, the nice thing about this, and I do see a question as to why I'm cutting it in half. I'm cutting it in half because I don't really need the whole piece. I can get that nice pleat with just half of a piece of mesh. I still get good coverage on the board, which you'll see at the end. And, you know, why use more material than you need to? You can use half the material for this particular petal. So then you're going to take one of your halves, okay, and here's where I'm going to kind of fake it. And some people use an iron. I see Cricut mini press. I don't know anything about Cricuts. I like zero. I don't even know what you use them for. But yes, I've heard people using like a curling iron, or not a curling iron, but like a hair straightener will work as well. Okay, so take your parchment paper. Obviously, you'd be on an ironing board. You take your piece of poly burlap and you just fold it in half. Okay, get a nice, clean point at the top there. Put that between your two pieces or your one piece, mine's one piece that's folded in half, of your parchment paper, okay? And it might be kind of hard to see on camera. I probably should have picked a different color than yellow. But all you're going to do is, obviously, when your iron is hot, yes, I did use the wood burner when I cut this. I did not use the wood burner, obviously, when I just cut the piece in half. You don't really need to, because that part is what's going to go into your zip tie. So you can do the diagonal cut with just your rotary cutter if you wish. Time is money. You could wood burn it, but it takes time. Time is money. So your iron would be plugged in and hot. Okay. And then all you're going to do is take that sort of very edge of your iron and run it on the crease of your poly burlap. Okay. And what happens now, sometimes I'll use the tip of the iron. Okay. All you want is just a very narrow sort of spot right here where you're essentially melting the mesh together. Okay. And so obviously the iron's not on, so nothing happened. But what you'll see is this gets a little bit darker right here because that's where it's sort of melting together. And you end up with this. Okay, you probably can't see on camera, but this is where the iron was. And so this is like slightly melted. I mean, it's not hot anymore or anything like that. But that's what I'm doing with the iron. Okay, so then what we're going to end up doing is opening this up. You got your nice pleat, and we create our petal from that. Okay, so that was just a quick demo. If you need to see, how to do that in more detail, check out the YouTube video. I'm going to move all this off here because I need some space. Okay, so that's a quick demo of how you do the petal with the iron. Like I said, I've already done all the ironing because I don't think y'all want to sit here and watch me iron for, 30 minutes or whatever. But anyways, so here's what I have started so far. Okay, so I did do all my yellow already. Okay, and my green. So I'm using the green for leaves. I'm using the yellow, and then I'm going to do orange, and then I'm going to do fuchsia on the inside, and then I have this glittery half a styrofoam ball that I'm going to use for the center. So that's why I put the yellow on the outside, because I want it to be a good distance away from the center. So that way the yellow center stands out. Okay. This glitter rope was purchased from Unique in the Creek. If you go on their page and if you just search bling rope, you'll see this in all different colors. I did just check before I got on live, and it's in stock in several colors. There's yellow, pink, fuchsia, green, lavender, black. I'm probably missing a few. Okay. If you want to know how to make a center like this, also check out my YouTube. I do have a video where I show how to kind of do this winding and gluing process. Okay. So we're working on a small board. I've already preloaded the board and I've already done some of the petals just to make this go a little bit quicker. Okay. So I am working on, it's a small Unique in the Creek board. I'm working on row 2 is my yellow. Row 3 is going to be my orange, and row 4 will be my fuchsia. I'm using row 1 just for the leaves, and I decided to just put leaves kind of clustered on either side. This is the top right here where this petal is. Okay. So if you want to take a look to just see where the zip tie placement is on the back. Okay. I used every pair of holes in row 2, every pair of holes row 3, and all the pairs and shared holes in row 4. Okay. And then here's the top of the board. So basically the pairs of holes in row 1 that are at what is that, 3 and 9, I did those, and then one above and below Whoops, you can't see the other side, but that's what I did where I put my leaves, in case you want to copy that, or you can, you know, scatter them around or however you want to do them. Okay, so I'll show you how to make the petal. It's a very simple petal. Really, the ironing is the worst part. Okay, and so what I'm going to do, I'll do the orange next, and that's going to go on row 3. Okay, so these are all of my 10 by 10 that I cut in half with the rotary cutter, and then I use the iron, and like I said, we're not going to do that on camera, but they're all prepped and ready to go. So all you're going to do is open up your triangle, okay? You have that nice pleat down the center. Okay, yes, I did cut them in half. Okay, so then all you're going to do is just gather along this edge. Now, this is the edge that I cut with the rotary cutter. Okay, so it will, you know, it is going to fray a little bit, but that's the part that's going into the zip tie, so it doesn't matter that you end up with this kind of, you know, that's going in the zip tie, so no one's going to see that. Okay, so here's your petal. Again, very simple to put together. Okay, and then just put that right into the zip tie. So this is going into row 3, just about a fingertip width in there. Okay, and just like that. Okay, and I do have all the orange ones to make, but then all the other petals are already made. I have the pink ones done. I was gonna save the leaves for last, but then I wasn't really sure how many I wanted to put on there, and I ended up kind of spacing them out, and then I was like, yeah, I'll just put them in there. Okay, so all I'm doing is gathering. I mean, if you wanted to like count how many gathers you do to make them, you know, really super even, you can. Like, you know, I know that that's a method I see other wreath makers teach. For me, I just kind of sort of gather it so that it's nice and, you know, kind of gathering the same amount of material every time. I don't have like a certain number of scrunches that I do. I did not use the whole amount of bling rope that comes in the package for this center. I do believe it was something like 5 meters, which was, I believe it was 5.4 yards came in the package. And I don't know if maybe, because I cut those styrofoam balls in half, and it's possible I didn't make it even because I ended up using more than half the amount of glitter rope that was in the package. I feel like I've been able to get 2 centers from one package before, and I don't know, maybe my ball is more than half a ball. I don't know. I'm not sure where the other half is. I probably already used it, so it's possible I didn't cut it evenly. And so, but I do know, like, I'm pretty sure I think I had silver bling rope. And I did get 2 full centers out of it, so it might have just been my wonky cutting. The ball is just under 4 inches. I just get them in a 2-pack from Hobby Lobby, or I've even seen them at Walmart. So nothing fancy there. Okay. So easy petal after you do the ironing. The ironing might make you want to pull your hair out. I don't even like to iron my clothes. So ironing my poly burlap is, I like the look of this. I do most of my leaves on my wreaths with this veined petal. I think it looks it's kind of like a lifelike sort of look. And so I'm kind of notorious for not putting leaves on my flowers. I just don't do it very often, but I do have one particular style of sunflower that I always put leaves on. I make a magnolia that I always put leaves on. And if you watch me at all, I did make a daisy quite a while ago now, but I made a daisy and put some leaves on that. But a lot of my other flowers I don't, mostly because I kind of consider them I mean, it's a wreath, it's a flower, but it's almost kind of more like a work of art. I don't know that it necessarily, you know, always has to have the leaves. So sometimes if it's something a little bit more, I don't know, abstract, I guess, if you will, I won't put the leaves on. Or if it kind of just clashes, honestly. Sometimes the colors are not what I want for putting leaves on a flower, so I just leave them off. So again, this is really easy to do, this petal. All I'm doing is scrunching along the bottom, and that's the part that I cut with the rotary cutter. So, you know, you do have some fray here, but that's going into the zip tie. If you're really, really picky, you know, you can certainly do the wood burner on the diagonal cut. But like I said, time's money. And I like to spend as little time as possible doing the wood burning, because not only is it not really good for you to be breathing that in, you want to make sure you're wearing a mask, but you know, in the winter, I do it out in my garage. So in the winter I freeze, and in the summer I sweat out there. So whatever time I can minimize the time I spend with the wood burner. And I always do it outside, just safer for the people and the animals in my house. Okay, last one of the orange. Okay, so this is gonna go pretty quick here on out because I have the rest of my petals already made. But again, the ironing is the, you know, kind of what takes the most time. It's really the petal prep. The petal itself, you know, it's nice because there isn't anything you have to worry about sort of like lining up and making like nice edges or anything, because it's just a single piece of mesh. So you really don't have to worry about that too much. Okay, now I am going to just make a slight adjustment here because I have my factory edges. They're all right here and I want those on top. So there's just a slight little bit of overlap between these petals. So I just want them all to look the same. And then I'm going to take my, this is my zip tie gun. So it tightens. If it needs to be pulled tighter, it'll tighten the zip ties. And then it'll also snip them once they're tight enough. I do not have any more of the ribbon kits. I was really kind of hoping I could offer some kind of ribbon kit for patriotic, but I have red and white stripe and nothing else in large quantities. I was hoping I would be able to maybe get like, you know, navy blue with stars or something and offer some kits, but I'm telling you, some of these craft places they just don't have stuff in stock. And I did make all my ribbon kits out of Sam's Club ribbon. That once it's gone, it's gone. It's out of the stores. And that's how I'm able to keep those cost effective, because they, you know, the ribbon, I shopped for only the stuff I felt was the best quality, and then you know, was able to kind of keep those kits, the cost minimal, because I could make several kits out of one roll. Okay, so here's where we're at so far. Okay, now we just need to add the fuchsia. So I already have those all pre-made. They're held together with a little rubber band. So those are a good tool to use if you are wanting to pre-make your petals and then just load them into the board. So this is row 4 in the small board. And I did load every pair of holes as well as the shared holes for this. So we need that so that our center is nice and full. So we do need to use the pairs and the shared holes. So now, would I normally put pink and orange together? No, but I'm going for tropical. I'm going for bright colors. So that's why I chose to put them both on here. So I think this would be fun for someone that maybe has like a screened-in porch or a covered patio and just wants something nice and bright and fun for summer. And this will also be a very thin, slim design, so it'll be able to fit between 2 doors if you have a storm door. And it's, you know, going to be fairly lightweight as well. So all those good things for having it outside. Okay. And what's nice, so I have 6 green leaves. I made 2 more, but I don't think I'm going to use them. So that's just 3 pieces of green mesh, the emerald green, because you're cutting it in half. So you get double the petals out of, however many pieces of mesh you have. So I really only used, 3 pieces of green and then 4 pieces of each of the other ones. It makes you thirsty. Yeah, it is. It's kind of like a reminds me of like a cocktail, like a fun, fruity cocktail. But yeah, so it's cost effective because you're not using all that much mesh. It's really just, the time consuming part is really just the ironing and obviously the wood burning too. Okay. So let's get these all tightened up in here. So yeah, so it's 4, 8, 12. I used 15 10 by 10 pieces of mesh on this entire wreath. That's not even half a roll. So I think that's pretty good. All of the tools that I use, including the zip tie gun, my zip ties, cutting board, all kinds of other tools, you can find those in my Amazon affiliate shop. There is a link in the pinned post on my Facebook page. So you're on my Facebook page right now watching me. But if you go to the, off the video onto the actual page, you look at the pinned post, which is the one with the little yellow bookmark sort of looking thing. You'll see links to my Amazon affiliate as well as I am an affiliate for Unique in the Creek. So if you follow that link, you can get the board, the mesh, you can get the glitter rope. All that is available through Unique in the Creek. And I do appreciate when you use my affiliate link to shop. Okay. Fruit Loops, yeah. All right, so this is what we have so far. We're going to add our center, and so I just went ahead and made sure I know where the top is, which is right here. And so, I guess it doesn't matter because it's round. It doesn't, not like there's a right way or a wrong way, but anyways. And again, if you want to know how to do a center like this, whether it be with glitter rope or really any other kind of cording or rope or anything like that, you can check out my YouTube, and I do show you how to do that. So I'm just going through an opposite set of holes here, and I'm going to put that through, pull that down, just flip this over. I'm going to twist this. So I did just go through opposite set of holes here. Thank you to all of you who are letting me know that Lori sent you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate her. Now, what I usually do after I'll probably just finish this off later, but I just twist this a bunch of times, and what I kind of usually do, I was just about to do it, I might as well just do it. I kind of then feed my pipe cleaner underneath these zip ties here on row 4, and then just kind of loop them and just to kind of hide them. Or not hide them, but just make it as flat as I possibly can. Just to make sure there's nothing there that's going to scratch the door or anything like that. That's nice and secure. And the last thing then that I would be doing would be to go here on the back to my hanging holes. I just use fish line usually. You could use a zip tie or a pipe cleaner or really twine, any of that. I use fish line. So I'll go and add that in a second here, but you guys don't need to see that. You can use whatever you want. So here is my tropical flower. I have, hold it out this way. I got leaves on both sides. So I got 6 leaves that'll be coming out the sides. And then I have my yellow, orange, and fuchsia with my yellow bling center. So something very summery, good for having, you're having some kind of a luau or a tropical themed party. This would fit right in. Okay. And again, minimal mesh. We only used a total of 4 pieces of the pink 4 of the orange, 4 of the yellow, cut it in half, so that's 12, and then 3 total pieces of the green, so 15 pieces of mesh. Okay. All right. Thank you everybody for watching me. This was a pretty quick. I guess it goes a lot quicker when you got everything sort of prepped and ready to go ahead of time, but I do appreciate you watching me. And once again, please check out my pinned post on my Facebook page that will tell you how to get to my Amazon affiliate shop, and also tell you how to get to Unique in the Creek for the materials that I used here today, the board, the mesh, and the glitter rope. And feel free to check out my Etsy shop. This is already listed without the picture, of course, but there is a listing for this if you're interested in purchasing, as well as all of the other wreaths that I have available. So, and then again, if you're joined late, just remember to check out YouTube if you want to see the full process with me actually, you know, plugging in the iron and making the pleated petals. I'll make sure I put that link back in the comments here as soon as I shut this off. But thank you again for watching. Thank you for joining me. If you came from Lori, I appreciate that. I appreciate her setting people here, and I appreciate my followers as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Bye.